Hopefully everything sounds good. tough devs use Java. I don't know. I don't mind Java. I just feel like Java has some issues when it comes to the way it's structured or made, but that's honestly the only beef that I have with Java. I also just haven't really used it much, so. Alright, 1 second. Yo, what's up, Newt? How's it going, man? trying to debate when it comes to making a score class. Like, I'm trying to see, because a player will have a score and a high score. Like, those are the two things that a player should have. And like, I guess a player also could technically have, like, I'm trying to think. A player could have a turn, but since it's Pong, there's no turns. It's just a continuous game. I'm trying to think. But we want to keep track of a score for every player. But I think we only need one score object, so I think the score would just be passed into the player. So we wouldn't need to define a new score here. I think we would just say score, and score high score, maybe something like that. I'm probably wrong here, but that's my idea. Is like we initialize our score and our high score. I think I'm on the wrong track, but let's see. Because we don't want to redefine, like, create new score variables. We just want to use the ones that we want to reuse the score object. We want to reuse the score object here. Let's see. Maybe I also just want to start with ints instead of using, 16-bit integers. So let me think. We want to really only use something once. And a player should be able to just have a score. It needs to have a score. So we need to look up composition. So composition is C++. So car is composed of an engine class. Yeah. Car has an engine. Engine.start. Void drive equals engine.start. Delegation to the composed object. So we would need to do something like score.update score, I believe. This is tricky. Well, I guess it doesn't need to be this tricky, but... So I guess we just want to initialize... Let's just keep the 0 for now. Let's see. Use default. Oh, I'm good. I'll just initialize it. Okay. So with a player, I guess a player will still need those objects attached to it, so. Yeah, and then we would do something like update score, void score, update score. Non-friend class, so we need to make it a friend. I forgot how to format. Whatever, I'll leave it for now. I think I'm doing this wrong. Let me look. Let me see. Okay, you know what? I think it's going to be better if we just have score. Since we're not really doing a scoreboard right now, let's delete score, the score class. And let's just have the player have a score member variable. And then that way the player just has... I think that's easier that way, because I was thinking of like doing a scoreboard type thing. But I think this will be easier. And then we want to do player. Just like that, and then score, high score, so it would be score 0, high score 0, just like that. Alright. And then I think with update score, we literally just do void update score. And then we take our score, and we can just handle that and update high score. And then we can handle those in the CPP file. Actually, yeah, we'll handle those in the source file. Because I think really, that works for now. And then we don't need a friend class anymore. So now in player, we want to initialize don't know if I just need to use this or if I actually need to set these. I need to set this score actually equal to 0. I'm pretty sure these would just go to 0. Let's see. It's already been declared. Huh. I guess that's right, yeah. So I just need to update score. So we want to do something like boy player, update score, and then we want to say this score plus equals score. For high score, we want to be able to store that. So, hey, what's up, Coding Journey? I'm making Pong right now in C++. Here, I'll show you kind of what I'm making. So I'm kind of doing something like this where, you know, we can just bounce the ball back between two panels. And I'm using OpenGL to do this. So it's my first game that I'm making ever, really. I mean, in C++, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. So far it's going okay. I'm just getting all the classes made. And I already did pretty much most of the design, so yeah, I mean, you can see here I have the design for the most part. The biggest thing is going to be the OpenGL stuff once we need to get to that for sure. So, let's see. I'm new to coding. Can you give me some tips for Python? Yeah, I would say, let me think. I would say that pseudocode is your best friend when you're learning. So like, if you want a function or something, if you want something to do something, so for example, this high score, I would write it out in English first. So I would say, when the game ends, keep track of the highest score, and then do something like, if the high score is greater than the previous high score, update it. Something like that. So yeah, just use pseudocode and then go through and I'll do something like, I don't really have a logic for the game ending yet, but I would do something like, if game state equals game over, like this, and then I'd say, if high score is greater than high score, update the high score or whatever, like it, something like that. We actually do need to keep track of our game state, so I will put that in Pong, and then I'm going to include that. So I'm going to do that as a to-do. So to-do, and then I'd say add game state to update and keep track of score. Just like that. I would recommend Mimo to learn code. Nice. Mimo looks cool. I think right now though, I mean, I'm not using Python really. I'm using C++. Thank you though for the suggestion. Yeah, okay, so we got our update score, and update score literally just adds to our current score, which we'll pull this method in on the actual game itself. So game will use our this class. There's a bug on my webcam. Mimo has every coding language. That's awesome. Hold on, I gotta get this bug. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. I'm more of a builder rather than a tutorial person. And I have nothing wrong with that. I just, yeah, I appreciate the suggestion. Alright, so for paddle, I'd say for paddle, let's see. Paddle's just going to have a position. And a width and a height. So, I need to kill this bug. One sec. Like, if I can find it. It keeps going in and out. Okay, so I'm going to do something like class, paddle. And then I actually want to do this first. I need to paddle underscore h. Oh wait, this is paddle. I'm doing the wrong thing. I see where I am. I'm in my source file. Right now I post my first vid for practicing coding. Awesome. Good for you, man. Sorry, I just gotta get this bug. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'll be right back. There's a bug on my monitor. I'm back. There was a stupid bug that just kept crawling around. Also, Coding Journey, congrats on your channel. I'll have to check it out later. Okay, so this is going to be our paddle class. And our paddle, actually, I think I already defined it, but let's see. Nope, I didn't. Okay, so we need to define the paddle class and what it needs. So a paddle is actually going to take a position. So we're going to want to include position.h. And I'm still making Pong, Bastion. I'm making Pong in C++. Because I'm like, if I'm going to start making a game, I better just start with the simplest game, and then I'll go from there. But right now I'm building out the classes. Alright, so if we have a position, we're going to need a position for a paddle. And then we're also going to need, well, I guess the speed is going to be controlled. It'll be controlled by the user input, so I don't think that'll be necessary. I'll come back to that maybe. But our position, or our paddle is going to just simply have a position. And then it's going to also have a position, and that'll just be our position. Then I'll also have a destructor, and then paddle is gonna do you have some more free time than before? I know you're busy with your job. Dude, I'll be honest, it has gotten even busier. Like, I thought it was gonna chill out, and then we got just into some super busy work, and really my only free time is on weekends, which sucks. But I want to make more of an effort to at least try when I can. So I want to get this project done, and as soon as I'm done with this project, I want to start on smaller things. That way I can stream and not have to worry about making a ton of progress. So, yeah. Alright, so yeah, our paddle's gonna have just take a regular position, and I think we'll just define this as 0.0, 0.0 for those positions. We'll initialize those as 0, and then those will get updated. We are gonna have an update position. Yeah, I know, bro. It's crazy. It kind of sucks that I haven't had a lot of time. I'll get pretty busy soon, too, in like 3 days because school starts for me. Nice, man. Glad that you're starting school. Good for you. Oh, I'm trying to think of how I update. Let's see. I think a paddle is also going to have a width and a height for when we define it. So, and I think what we want to do actually is we want to define its position, and we want to define its width and height. Position. I think that's right. I gotta maximize my time while I'm a student. I don't have a long job. Oh, and C# has become my beloved too. Dude, C# is goated. It's super similar to C++. C++ will just let you shoot yourself in the foot more. And right after that, I'll be done studying to be a nurse. Dude, awesome. Congrats. That's an awesome career path. Let's see. So we are going to need I think we are going to need a speed to keep track of how much the paddle moves. So yeah, we'll set those to 0. And we're also going to need to initialize this with a velocity, so I'm just going to do these as P and V. Velocity. Let's see. Oh, yes, I see. Alright. So we initialize those. Hope everybody's doing good today. I know it's been a bit since I've streamed. It's been a while. Alright, this music's too quiet. I need some upbeat music. This is good. W stream. Thanks, man. Oh yeah, if you guys are new here, feel free to sub and join the Discord in the description. It's also in my channel description as well. If you guys are new, I need to update my description. I actually already got my bachelor's, and I have a full-time job now as a full-stack engineer, or a full-stack web developer. But yeah, I'm doing C++ on the side in game dev. Let's see. Okay, trying to think about this better too. So we're gonna probably just need simple methods for updating. So we need to update position. Well, let's see, does position have an update? I guess our velocity would go in terms with our position. We need a collide method. The music's from Zelda Skyward Sword. It's a pretty good Zelda game. I would say it's like not in the top 5 for me, but it's still a really great game. Like in terms of Zelda games. I think Zelda games, my favorite is Twilight Princess. Then I love Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Let's see, I would say Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, A Link Between Worlds, Tears of the Kingdom, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Minish Cap, Skyward Sword. Yeah, it might be missing a few, but yeah. I upgraded my setup. Nice! That's awesome, man. You have to send some pics. Alright, so now we have all these methods. So when we have a ball, we can check the collision. And for a ball, we actually need to do that class as well. So our ball, let's include what we need here. A ball's gonna have a position. So I guess these will all get included, so position. It's gonna have a velocity. We're gonna have a radius, which is, I mean, not the entire thing, but I went from a 1660 super to a 2070 super, but I'll probably sell both and get a 3080 with a 3800X instead of my 2600. I got the RTX for 160 Canadian. Nice, man. That's a great upgrade. Yeah, I mean, dude, if you can, get a 30 series card. Those are amazing because they have ray tracing and stuff. I feel like 30 series cards are when GPUs got really, really good. Well, the 1080 Ti is the best for sure. Yeah, so we're gonna have a velocity, and then we're also gonna have an acceleration and an angle. So we'll have physics, acceleration, angle. And then I don't think my power supply will like this one. That's fair. My current PC, it's like a mini PC, a mini ATX, and that thing gets warm, man. Alright, I think this is all we need for now. We're gonna probably need to keep track of a few other things later, but we're getting there. The acceleration, we're also just going to have these objects set to the defaults. And our radius, I'm trying to remember. We actually had ball's just gonna have a radius of 0. Right, yours is an ATX. I got a legendary case if you want to search up Corsair C70. Corsair. Let me look at this. Oh, dude, that's sick. Oh, nice. It looks like a Halo case or like an army crate, dude. Like an ammo crate. That thing's sick. Hey, how's it going, Donkey Molson 6509? I don't know how to say your name. I'm so bad with names. Alright, so our ball, let's see. Our ball is going to have a position. It's going to have a velocity. It's going to have an acceleration. It's going to have an angle. And then it's going to have a radius. And then we're also going to have the position. There we go. And then we're going to have a destructor. Also, if you guys are new here, feel free to sub and join the Discord. I'm gonna try my best to be on the Discord more often. Bastion, it's always good to have you in the stream, man. Thank you for being here. And Newt, and just everybody that is a regular. I appreciate you guys a lot. Hopefully the music's okay. No, you're good, man. I won't lie, I kind of suck with game dev, so this has been fun, you know? Alright. The ball is gonna have to do a lot. The biggest thing is it's gonna bounce, so we're gonna have it bounce. It's just gonna be called bounce because it's technically gonna apply to when it bounces off a paddle. It's gonna need to come in contact. So, well, let's see what it's gonna need an angle here. So, it's gonna need our well, no, it's not gonna need a radius because the size will just stay consistent when it's constructed. Which I think for the radius, I'll figure out what that should be later. It's going to need an angle. It's going to need an acceleration. It's going to need a velocity. It is going to need a position. And then we're going to need to be able to detect it when it hits. So I guess it'll be... So I think what I would do here, hey, I don't know if you remember, but you remember that Discord mod application? Dude, I so forgot. Honestly, Bastion, I feel like you've been here long enough, so let's talk in the Discord, and I think I'll probably get you on as a mod. I just want to make sure that we understand the expectations and stuff. I'm not too worried. Obviously, my Discord isn't huge, but if I'm gonna have a moderator, I just want to make sure that everything's taken care of. Yeah, I feel like you'd be a good mod. And then later on, if I really need to do like applications and stuff, we can talk about it then. But okay, so I think what I want to do is I think we need to use a vector to keep track of our bounds. So I guess if we're thinking about two shapes colliding with one another, we need to keep track of those vectors and if they overlap. So I guess I would do something like this. I would do glm vec3 and I would just call this, well, let's see. I want to actually. I don't even need a new vector. I think I just check the position of I'll send you a friend request and we can talk later. Not like in 600 years. For sure, man. Okay, so I was thinking a bounding box would be important here, but I think instead here we want to just check the position of the the barrier. So we'll basically say barrier B, and that'll just take a reference to the barrier. And then basically that'll say, hey, when the position of the barrier and the position of the ball are on top of each other, then the ball will rotate its angle and the position will go the other way. I hope that makes sense, the way I'm describing it. And then it'll also have an acceleration, so it'll speed up and then the velocity itself will update. So I was thinking though, with velocity that includes just the direction over time, whereas speed is the measurement. So maybe we just need an int to keep track of our actual speed. I don't know. Because the velocity is the actual update, like it's the actual physics when it comes to the speed. And then the speed is what the value is that's updated to keep track of it. Does a bounce need a speed? I think we could just update the speed. Alright, so bounce is going to have... Bounce is actually going to be more towards... Oh, I'm trying to think. Bounce is going to take just the collision and tell it when to move a direction. Update position will actually update the position. So we're actually going to have these two methods. And I think that bounce will need to use update position. You don't ask Claude questions anymore? I'm trying not to. I really don't want to over-rely on AI when I'm learning. And I've recognized for me, AI is kind of like a weakness when it comes to, like, I would say that before I was able to manage it more, but then I got to a point where it just was doing more than actually me doing it. So I'd rather make crappy code and figure out the bugs later and use AI to maybe debug at the end. But like, I feel like I'd rather just get something working on my own, you know? I don't know, I'm not anti-AI, but when it comes to learning, I don't think that it's necessary to use. I'll use it for Google searches and stuff, but that's about it. Alright, so a ball is going to have bounce and update position, and then later on, honestly, I would love to do something like this. Maybe update the size. Or do something where, like, we can update the effect. So, like, we could turn it into a fireball or something and it speeds up. Fireball? Question mark? We could do, like, different ball types. So we could do, like... You know. We could do different ball types. We could do different paddle types. I don't even know. Might be fun to think of some things. The only moment I use I ask for syntax and when I have errors. I actually try to debug, but I don't understand if I ask it. Yeah. Like you can see here when I'm typing, I have autocomplete on, which I actually used to not ever want to do that, but it really gets easy when I when it's just simple stuff like this is when I use it. So I don't use it all the time though. I mean, there's certain cases where I'm like, I just type it out by hand. All right. I think that's pretty decent for ball for now. Paddle is done. We need to do barrier. Barrier is just gonna have a position, and then it's gonna have a detect a threshold basically. So let's see. Barrier is gonna have a position. And then it's also gonna have, let's see. Have you seen my Discord RPC library? I think so. Let me check. I'll check on Discord really quick. I'm pulling up Discord right now. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, you were talking to me about display stuff on people's Discord profiles. So I decided to create my own easy RPC that is designed to be simple, straightforward, with zero dependencies. This is sweet, man. I would add, if you can, add some screenshots to your README. That's pretty cool though. You're using APIs and all that. That's sweet. So barrier's gonna have a position, and then I guess we probably want a threshold percentage of some kind. But either way we're gonna need a width and a height. So and then we also want to do like threshold. And then I actually wanted to make this a double. I know that might not make sense, but a threshold will basically tell us if we're within that width and height range, then we can count it on. Actually, you know what? No. We could just say if it passes over the position, since it's going to be static, then it's in one or the other's fields. Yeah, I'm gonna need that. Which I actually think I need this on ball as well. Perfect. See, this is where I like autocomplete. is getters and setters and stuff like that. We're not going to have any sort of update position, but we are going to want to say is player side. There's probably a lot of overcomplication here when it comes to just the barrier. But I figure we overcomplicate it now, and then later when we can remove what we don't need. I'd rather over-engineer, you know? Okay, the hardest thing that's gonna suck, honestly, is the freaking OpenGL stuff. I'm not excited for the rendering. Which, that's not gonna be fun. The ball is also gonna have a path to render, and the paddle, and the barrier. So these are all gonna need, at some point, trying to think. They're gonna need a path, so we're gonna need to take the texture, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna need to include texture. And then this is gonna be a private variable where we'll say texture, and then we'll say texture dot load texture, and then ball.png. Unexpected texture cannot. Oh yeah, that's right. I guess it would just be texture. Okay. To do load texture for ball. Okay, so we'll load the texture for the ball. We need to do the same for barrier, which I'm pretty sure we just pass that in, maybe? This might be so wrong, but I'm just trying to think, you know, the easiest way to do this here. I'm gonna come back to that, because I think we might just need to pass, with rendering, we could just honestly pass in the ball object and everything into the main class. But at the same time, I think that the ball is going to need a texture path of its own. So we'll use a texture object, and then render texture loader will take all of the textures and load them in though. Oh, that's confusing. Not gonna lie, I was working on my Vulkan engine, and I went on YouTube and saw ya. And I've never seen you before. It's cool to watch new people, kind of refreshing from all the pro developers. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been doing C++, I mean, for about a year when it comes to, like, since I started using it. But it's been about 6 months since I really started, like, delving into it. And it's pretty fun. I appreciate the comment, though. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, I mean, I'm really doing super basic stuff right now. I mean, I'm making Pong right now. But there's so many... It's so funny how complex it can get, you know? I mean, when you're designing a game, you want it to be perfect, but you have to make design decisions that, you know, you have trade-offs for. So, like, having a texture loader, you know, we're going to take in a JSON file that'll have all the textures, but I gotta, you know, make sure that, like, oh, what if I just want the ball, the barrier, and the paddle to have a texture? And then that just loads when you initialize that. But I think that actually won't matter, because when we go into our main class, we'll just pass in the texture method there, and that'll initialize there. So I think we can actually remove that. That'll be a part of loading the texture. But it was a good thought, I think. Oh, that's cool. I'm having fun with it. That's okay. I literally, as you grow as a developer, you will eventually make them random things because you can, and they don't have to be insane. Yeah, totally. I mean, I do web development for work, and there's so many over abstractions with everything you do, you know, and it's like, I love C++ because I like working with everything, you know. There's just something fun about it. Oh, you're good, man. I'm gonna remove that. Yeah, if you guys are curious right now, when we run this, well, I guess right now it won't do anything because... Oh, there's some errors. Perfect. I love solving errors. Acceleration. Ah, yes. This is the stuff that I had. Oh, that's in position. I'm gonna work on these. There's a lot of things I'm gonna have to fix for sure. The definition of paddle and paddle.cpp. Oh, that's why. I see. That's fine. One sec, guys. Also, outside of streams and stuff, I've been doing some neat code because I've just been wanting to get better at my data structures and algorithms, and it's been going good. I think I've been in a better consistent state there. Yeah, I definitely have work to do. I need to really do some more studying on like game design and like look more into actual position classes and like yeah. I have a lot of improvement to make. Alright, so I think I want to make my texture loader next. There we go. And with the texture loader, oh, this is going to take a lot. So a texture, we do need to use the stub image to process the image itself. So we actually do need to define that, I believe. So define stub image implementation, and then include stub image.h, and then we need to include texture loader, which we already did. Actually, I'll put this above. So if you guys don't know what I'm doing, I'm setting up the texture mapping for the textures that we're going to load in. So basically we can basically include whatever type of texture filtering we want to do as well. So right now we're using linear filtering. So our textures will load super crisp. And it uses those parameters, which takes a lot. And then we need to take our width heights and then our number of channels. And then we need to use STBI to flip the image. There we go. This part's pretty easy actually, so. And then we just do if data and this basically just holds, this tells us what to do when we pass in our data. GL enum format equals number of channels, which that equals 4. Or we can do GL RGBA. Or RGB. Alright, that's pretty much the MIP map, yep. And then we need to free the data. But actually this, we don't need this here, we need to do we need to say loaded. Path. That works for now. And then outside of this, we'll do an else. And then our else will basically say failed to load texture. And then after that, we're going to want to say we want to free our data. And then we'll return our texture. Alright, so that's all for just loading a texture. It's nice to see you again, Jessen. Oh, thank you, Cosmic. Appreciate it, man. I haven't used OpenGL in a while. Dude, it's fun. Is it overcomplicated for what I'm doing? Yeah, absolutely. But I figured I should start on a fun note, you know? If I'm gonna learn, I might as well do a challenge of some sort. But it's not that bad compared to Vulkan. I know Vulkan's way worse. I feel like OpenGL is a really nice middle ground. Alright. So our loading our texture should be good. But this just loads the ball texture for now. We're going to need to use it on everything. So, we'll figure that out. I do think I am going to need a camera class. OpenGL is decently fun, but I like Vulkan more because it's more verbose or explicit. But I also have my own CPU-based software renderer that handles 3D. It's just built off Windows.h. Nice. In C++, no other libraries other than the C++ standard libraries. Yeah. I think OpenGL is definitely outdated. But for learning graphics programming, I think it's the best place to start, from what I've heard at least. I mean, for me, it's been great. There's definitely a lot, I would say, when it comes to setting up the graphics side of things. WebGP Diddy? What the heck? I don't know what that means, but I hope you're not saying that I look like Diddy. It's like the biggest insult. OpenGL is outdated, yes, but it's extremely stable. I just prefer Vulkan, and also Vulkan is 455 lines just to set up a window with... Yeah. Web GPU? Yeah, I know with Vulkan, I heard that it literally is just like the most insane amounts of code, but I'm guessing if you use it for like shaders and stuff like that, it's great. But sounds like a lot of work. Also, I'm younger than you, way younger. Nice, man. Yeah, I'm in my early 20s. And, like, I would say that I did a lot of different types of engineering when I was a kid. But I didn't get into software till I was in college, and it stuck with me, obviously, but it's also, like, my brain just doesn't work the same as many people's. It's tricky. I am very slow. And that's mainly because I choose to be slow. Like, I could go much faster. Hey, look at that. It's loading again. Oh, yeah, Henry, I was going to show you too. My most recent project that I made. I made a solar system simulator. Really simple, but it works. Let me run it in VS Code. Let's see. I'll see if I can get this loading. Alright, here we go. Well, I guess it's not wanting to work. Okay, let's try that. There we go. Okay, there we go. So here's, I literally made this in like a week, or not a week, but like a few days. It's super dumb. I just literally made a solar system simulator that uses these sprites and stuff that I drew. This is like technically my first OpenGL program from scratch, but it's fun. I like it. I don't mind saying my age. I'm 15. I've been doing C++ for almost 2 years, and I'm already working my own engine. It's mainly just I'm a fast learner and I love coding. Dude, yeah, good for you. You're putting yourself in a good position. I'll just say that. I wasn't doing that when I was your age. Alright. I think I got the most part done. Also, Henry, feel free to join the Discord and subscribe, but I would love for you to talk about your project in the Discord, and maybe I'll check out your GitHub if you have one. That's cool, I like it. I built a few of my own solar system things and black holes. I would show them. Yeah, dude. Send your stuff in the Discord. I'd love to see it. Alright, guys. I did not do much tonight, but you know, we did something, which counts, you know? I think I'm gonna end the stream here. And I'll probably come back and do more tomorrow. I don't think what we're working on is too difficult, but I want to get faster and get this done, so I'm gonna try and get some more stuff done tomorrow, and then we can start drawing stuff on the screen finally. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.